Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Scouting, and I covered it in the last episode, but this is a series that I don't really spend much time on anymore because there's not a lot I have left to talk about, and the series was sort of degenerating into simply me having a good game in a scout and putting it up on the channel, and I don't like doing that unless there's something to talk about. So I decided, and I mentioned it in the last video, that I haven't abandoned the series, but I'm not going to add videos to the series unless there's something new to talk about. And recently I did a Type 64 review, and actually the Type 64 is featured on the channel quite recently as a result, and when I was playing games for that review, something occurred to me. I was playing a lot of games in the light tank, and as I say, something occurred to me that I hadn't covered on the scouting series, and that is the issue of conserving hit points, because like a lot of light tanks, the Type 64 doesn't get a lot of hit points, and you're usually going to be a two-shot kill for most of the enemy tanks you're going to be facing. Once again, we're in a Tier 8 game here. Pretty much everything from the T-29 up on the enemy team can two-shot kill us. In fact, if the Tigers roll high, they can two-shot kill us. There's a bulldog on the enemy team. He can kill us in a magazine. So yeah, there's a lot of dangerous tanks on the enemy team that can basically two-shot kill a light tank. So this episode is all about conserving your hit points, and it's really, really important, something I haven't talked about before, especially with the map design changes made by Wargaming. So a lot of the maps are choke point maps, they're corridor maps. There's really not a lot of flexibility, not a lot of areas of movement that you can use for a light tank. And what you see a lot of light tanks doing in a corridor map is because they have no choice, they usually go head to head against enemy tanks. They don't have the hit points, they don't have the guns, they might do a little bit of damage, but they'll end up getting one or two shot killed. So conserving hit points is a very, very important skill to learn when you're driving light tanks. It doesn't matter what light tank you're in, unless you're in a lower tier light tank with incredible armor like the Valentine. But yeah, when you get to the higher tier light tanks, you don't have armor and you don't have a lot of hit points. So what do you do in a map like this that's corridor and choke points? And you'll see a lot of light tanks maybe rushing down into the riverbed to my right, and going head to head with other light tanks that are rushing down there. Yeah, that's not something I do in light tanks anymore. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. As you can see, I'm using my amazing speed. We got across the gap, we got spotted, but we're the first one over here. Got lots of tanks moving up to support me, but we're in a position now maybe to start doing a little bit of damage, and none of this is conserving hit points just yet. I've just using the tank to flank, using it to get a little bit of damage, get that bulldog out of a really, really awkward little position. Staying behind these rocks and using my gun depression to stay safe from enemy arty. And there we go, our 1375 rushes down into the valley, takes on the bulldog. So there's a Nashorn up here, move up, get the kill. But our 1375 is in a bad position because now there's an Object 416 down here. And unfortunate not to go through the front of his tank. 416 doesn't have great armor. Accuracy can work sometimes on the Type 64, but this is the whole point of the video right now. We know there's an Object 416. He's down underneath the bridges. He's using the bushes underneath the bushes to stay camoed up or stay hidden. So really I can't advance. I don't really want to fight in a choke point behind me. Go head to head against enemy tanks, not a good idea. But now I can't really advance down into the river because of this Object 416. And he hasn't been spotted. We've got tanks on the 9-0 lines. 416 hasn't been spotted. I'm just trying to look to see where I can be effective, where I can do damage, but going up against two T-34s that are hulled down and an IS-3 is no good. Again, you'll see lots of light tank drivers try and get a shot in there, but that's a losing situation. There's no point in risking my health dealing with hull down T-34s or an IS-3 from the front. So again, you can see me wondering, is the Object 416 down there? I don't want to lose any health to this guy. I'm going to be a two-shot kill. He's got a very good gun, so he's going to take off about 80, maybe even as much as 90% of my damage if he rolls, or health if he rolls high. But he still has not been spotted. Last time he was spotted, he was still down in that bush, using my camo rating, trying to spot him, and I'm just conserving my hit points, waiting for a break in the line. And it may look like very, very boring gameplay to you guys, but this is what you've got to do sometimes when you're in a light tank on a corridor map. So I finally figure, you know what, this guy, he's too good a player, he's one of the best players on the enemy team. He's too good to be sitting down there. Surely he can't still be sitting down there and waiting for me. So I decide to advance. Now this is where, again, I covered it. Our E25 gets across, isn't spotted, and I figure, okay, 416 has obviously relocated. And now our tanks on the south are being pushed, they're being flanked. And now this is the real bread and butter for a light tank on a corridor map. Unfortunately, oh, he has a repair kit. SU-14-1 uses a repair kit. I haven't been spotted. Took a shot, wasn't spotted, missed my shot, but I can't really focus on RT. You can see our E25 and T20 rushing RT. I'm not interested. I've got to help our tanks in the south, and I've got the rear of all of these tanks down here. So we're moving up, using bushes. This is going to get me spotted because the bush is the bush is clear. But we take out the T29, and we're continuing to flank. And these are the tier 8 heavies. I'm a tier 6 shooting tier 8s now, so I'm getting lots of XP, lots of credits. And you can see the gun, even though it's not fantastic, more than enough penetration to go through the rear of American tanks. And we are just feasting here, double bushing this T-34. And we take him out for our third kill of this game. So again, moving forward, IS-3s, there's a Leopard down here. And this Leopard, I mean, he's a light tank, but he really shouldn't have been in that position. He should have gone down into a choke point map where he's face-to-face against enemy tanks. As a result, he's on nearly dead. Tanza is, or no, that's Ram. I'm playing with Ram. He's in his Yag Panther. But move up. We've just taken out an IS-3. Missed my kill shot on the Leopard. Going to take out the other T-34. And there's 5 kills. Now, I could have used this game for the review, but I don't think this showed off enough aspects of the tank. But it does show off conserving hit points, so I'm on full hit points now. The 416 was spotted down on D8, so really the only thing I know is up here is the T29 and the SU-14-1. So, spotted the T29. Oh, and now there's an IS, and again, we're being careful, we're not charging in. Missed my track shot. Unfortunately, low alpha damage on this gun sometimes means you can't track enemy tanks. But now I know there's a T-29, there's an IS on the ridge, and there's RT. We've killed all the remaining enemy tanks. Hint of a shot on RT. Unfortunately, nothing to shoot at here. And he's reversing down the hill, so I don't think I'm going to get any more shots. So IS is back up on the ridge. Can we get a track shot maybe if he decides to poke? So we track him. Not sure if we got the track, but we get one shot in, penetrate him. Ram gets hit by a stealth T-29, and I know the T-29 is just fired, so that means I'm safe. Again, conserving hit points. I'm safe to advance across the middle because the T-29 is just fired. And once again, we're 5 kills, 1600 damage. We haven't lost any hit points in this game, and that means that now, because I've conserved all my hit points, I'm able to be aggressive. So I can take 2 hits from this T-29. Our AMX 1375 is potentially a 1-hit kill from the T-29. Oh, he reversed! But now I can take the hit from the T-29. Get 1 shot into RT, someone else takes him out. T-29's coming back. I can now take 1 hit, possibly 2 hits from the T-29. He's distracted. Our team move in. And I missed my kill shot. Wouldn't be one of my videos without fail. I even missed the kill. But yeah, there we go. Very, very comfortable game in the Type 64. And it was all about conserving hit points. So this was another game played while I was gathering footage for the Type 64 review. This game didn't make the review, even though it was a very good game, very good result. But when I was going through footage for the review, it occurred to me that it touched on a subject that I haven't covered in my scouting series before. And that, as I say again, is conserving your hit points. When you're on a lot of maps in World of Tanks that are corridor maps, that are choke point maps, there's no point in throwing away the hit points of your tank so early in the game. It could be worse than just throwing away your hit points. It could be you could throw away your entire tank. Light tanks in corridor maps do much better at end game than they do at the start of the game. So while it might be frustrating and it might be boring like it was in this game where I sat around for 3 or 4 minutes just driving around not doing anything or not doing much, it meant that towards the end of the game when the enemy numbers were thinned out, I was able to flank, I was able to get to the sides and rear of enemy tanks, I was able to pick up 5 kills and still have 100% hit points. I hadn't lost any hit points by the time I'd picked up 5 kills. Conserving your hit points, especially on choke point maps when you're driving light tanks, is really important. It means you can be much more effective at endgame, and that's what this was all about. I don't put out many scouting videos anymore, but this is something I hadn't talked about before, so I hope it's helpful. Anyway, this game was another first class badge. I picked up so many first class badges for the review. Didn't manage any aces, but this was just another one of them. We also picked up an Orlix medal. This was a tier 8 game, so I destroyed 3 or more enemy tanks or tank destroyers with a light tank, and the targets had to be 2 tiers higher than my tank. So that's what the Type 64 is very good at doing, getting to the rear of enemy tanks and just eating up. We finished top on XP with 1212 XP, 1747 damage done, 5 kills. Cannot complain. Another really good game in a very competitive premium tank. Check it out in the review. 29 shots fired, 22 hits, 17 pens, nice amount of damage. I spotted 2, so I wasn't playing as a light tank. I wasn't playing for spots. 766 assistance damage. Again, I wasn't playing for assistance damage. I was playing as a damage dealer. Damaged 9, destroyed 5, did 6 base or cap points, and finished up with 53,000 credits. So yeah, it's a good moneymaker, it's a good crew trainer, but all of that's covered in the review. This is all about conserving your hit points. I was able to get a result like this because I didn't charge in, didn't go head to head against enemy tanks, waited, was patient, waited for the moment when there was a break in the enemy lines, risked crossing the river and managed to flank a pile of enemy tanks. That's what the Type 64 is good for. That's what most light tanks are good for in a corridor map. Wait for your moment, conserve your hit points, and then you can have a much bigger impact at the end of a game. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.